What's up, guys? Welcome back to Missouri River Bottom. So as you can see, we are planting, and with the surprise changes last time, I went ahead and picked up a second Case Magnum with the helicopter tanks, and I picked up a second one of the Case 2160 early riser planters. Reason being for that is one planter's got enough for sure, but surprise, surprise, things keep happening. I just wanted to be ready to rock and roll and take on any challenges coming our way. So there have been some other changes made. We're going to run over those real quick, and then we're just going to get into planting, finishing up planting, and then we're going to start spraying the rest of the fields, get ready for the harvest season coming up. So as you guys can see here shortly, we do have a total of $8 million in loans right now. I took out a second $500,000 loan to cover things because with the expansion, we are doing all the fields that are highlighted in brown are going to be sorghum. Everything else is going corn. So that means our total split's going to be 430 acres of sorghum and 578 acres of corn. It's going to be real interesting to see what we get off this come harvest time. But we are going to get into planting, and then we're going to start spraying, and might have another little fun surprise for you later. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Catch you guys in a bit. planting's done. We've moved on to May. We're now working on spraying. As you can see, we're here at the shop with the John Deere 4045. We did find a side dressing kit tucked away in the shop. We're getting that put on the sprayer here. Now obviously this is something you use on corn with anhydrous when the corn's already grown. So you might be wondering, well, if you're doing this here, what's going on with the spraying setup? Well, you guys are about to see. We got an AGCO dealer in the area. The feel of this farm might start taking on a distinct AGCO feel. We've already got some things, like we've got the sunflower vertical till equipment that we're using, the two vertical tillers that we're using. But we've got a little something else out in the field. So we're going to take a drive down here, go down to the very far end on the southern side of the road, run that 171 acre field, and we've got a Fendt sprayer sitting out there. So I went ahead and picked up the Fendt. That's part of what that additional $500,000 loan went towards. It's a pretty base model Fendt. They did cut me a deal on it a little bit. We gave them the other John Deere 4045 sprayer that we had. We went ahead and kind of did a trade. Even though they're an AGCO dealer, they made me a pretty smooth deal on it. Really good deal. Good guys down there. So as you can see, the fence out here in front of us, we're going to go park the truck, hop out, jump into that, and start spraying for weeds. So we're going to get that done, and that'll be it. That'll be all 1,008 acres planted, sprayed, and then we'll be ready to jump in and sit back and wait for harvest season. So as you guys can see, we've been using it a little bit already. It's a really nice machine, really good setup. So we're going to get to knocking out some weeds, and I'll catch you guys here in a bit. Enjoy. All right, guys, well, that's planting and spraying done. We are now kicking back, waiting to jump into harvest season when that rolls around. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share, and we will catch you all next time on the Missouri River Bottom.